What's good, YouTube? Today we're going to be talking about the blight of anime. We're going to be talking about how fan service is ruining anime. This is another video about a dog, Honor Clarity. Make sure you sub to bro. He's on a push to 5K. Sub to me as well. Turn on the bell. If you like everything you know about my channel and type of videos I make, you can hit the channel icon and find it out yourself, but it's also linked in the description with the Discord community. But without further ado, I'm just gonna hop straight into it.
These moments of fan service have gotten completely out of hand. I can't count the amount of times I've just been watching the show and the dialogue is flowing, building the plot, and then bam, butt cheeks.
Characters naked,
when a fight
bro.
scene is so intense that you can't keep your eyes off the screen, and then bam, but
okay, not
when a
that.
fight scene is so intense.
Us or my Urza is fighting with 3 swords. She's using 3 swords though. But unlike Zoro, she's holding 2 swords in her feet. With her feet.
That you can't keep your eyes off the screen.
Hey,
and
hey,
another
like,
reason
this
not
is
to.
tough.
The excessive fan service in anime has not been talked about enough, and the only shows that seem to be getting any backlash are fan
Like
force,
Fire
because they
Force.
know their audience.
He
and
said
what they
fan
want.
force.
The reality is, a lot of shows have been guilty of slipping in a scene or two that might go undetected, like this Dragon Ball scene. There was no reason.
Okay, yeah, Dragon Ball had a lot of fan service back in the day. You got that scene with that little girl. You got the scene with Bulma like showing Roshi her goodies for a Dragon Ball. You got, mind you, she did it unintentionally. She thought she was wearing underwear or something like that, but she wasn't. I watched OG Dragon Ball, so I know the lore before it became like the staple of shonen power and battle manga. What else? Oh, Goku patting her John and like being confused.
In a martial arts show would need this, but they still went at it anyway. And I think I finally figured out
It made
why
more
fan
sense though
service
for
has been so
Goku.
prevalent, and it's the exact same reason why Love Island is so popular. Everyone is an extreme gooner at heart. No, but seriously, it is unfortunately something that most people in any space love to see. But then you have to draw the line somewhere, right? Well, people have been trying to bring light to Dandadan and the fact that these scenes are strange due to the age of the protagonist. They have even gone as far as dropping the show despite liking the story simply because it was wrong to watch. And although there is some truth to that statement, you have to hold other shows to the same standard as well. Because although Dandadan definitely blurred the lines in terms of age appropriate, our favorite shows were no better at hiding it. It was just a different time, so everyone who watched these already thought they were weird. I mean, you see the memes all the time about watching anime by yourself, and then when someone walks in, it always has been this way. But because
Y'all see this bot, bro? Boo this good, bro. Boo this good, bro. If you really try to tap in, you trying to find out my Discord, bro, put exclamation Discord in chat. Discord is linked there. Get these bots off my stream, twin. Nah, who banned him? W Mod. Hey, I didn't know I had shooters like that, bro. Got that nigga out of here.
it has become more mainstream, the more
Ew. Gorilla Maki, bro. She's not beating allegations.
It always has been this way, but because it has become more mainstream.
Stop it, bro. Hold on. Let me get that frame. It might be thumbnail. Hold on.
Yourself, and then when someone walks in, it always has been this way, but because it has become more mainstream.
That's thumbnail, twin. Come on, bro. You're telling me she's beating the gorilla allegations gang? That's somebody's profile picture right now. I bet you like an entire fortune. I put up 5,000 Bitcoin.
The more casual viewers are going to think it's extremely weird.
Threw her out her
mostly
clothes
because
is
it's
crazy.
cartoons. Am I defending it? Absolutely not. But the double standard is something I wanted to bring light to. So to fully understand why fan service has gotten out of hand, I'm gonna have to pull from shows with
It's
the most
Gooners,
unnecessary uses of it. But I won't use examples from shows that were built on that foundation. Like
Yeah.
Prison School or High School
DxD.
However,
Yeah.
a perfect example is Food Wars. If you watch this show, then you know
Food Wars is so peak. It has a good story. It reminds me of a martial arts anime or a sports anime. Like Kinomaru Sumo, even Air Gear is a sports anime. Because like ATs is a sport. You got Haikyuu, and then like I'm a manga reader. Manga, manhwa, danhwa, manhwa. I read all of that, bro. So it's like I've seen the cultivation joints, the martial joints, return of the mad dog. You know what I'm saying? So like it just gives me that vibe. Like he's training for something. Even Baki too. He's training for something. I need to be a better cook. His father is the best cook in the world, essentially. He's like Yujiro. You know, he's like notorious. he is trying to take over their spot, but he has to go on his own journey on how to become a chef for himself. As cooking is something from the soul, his father can't just give it to him, but his son, Soma, the main character, has a natural talent for cooking. So he goes to the school and they compete. They bring in different cultures. They go, oh, this person's specialty at seasoning. This person's specialty is blah, blah, blah. It's absolute cinema, but in the first episode, you're greeted by his clothes busting off trying to dish.
They have been consistent with the stripping.
Come on, gang.
All 5 seasons.
Men and women.
The fact that this show is about cooking. Like, don't
That
get me
look
wrong.
good, though,
I've had
twin.
food so good where I feel like I'm floating, and it transcends anything I've ever had. But to have my clothes burst off because of the taste,
That's
it's just
never
nuts.
happened.
This is what gave
On,
watching
bro.
anime a bad rep a decade ago. Because I was expecting intense and complicated discussions about the culinary arts, like
And
most
then,
sports anime.
no.
But it was just soft. Nevertheless, I still enjoyed the show. And weirdly enough, it got me into cooking. So there's that. But the show was at least consistent from day one. So there can't be too much complaining if they set the standard from the jump. But on the contrary,
First
there's some
episode.
shows where the fan service is just plain disgusting.
Like, that episode, I didn't even watch it. I reacted to it. That disgusts me, gang.
Mushoku Tensei. Normally, isekai anime is a fantasy that most people would want to escape to and live out the lives they never had. While most people also don't get isekai as a baby with full consciousness. So of course, this makes
bro, this was talking crazy while he was breastfeeding from his mom.
interesting plot. Not the typical reincarnate we see, and the world building has huge potential. But this guy is the bottom of the barrel shut-in who should not be allowed around other children.
Like,
and that's where
yuck,
Mushoku Tensei
bro.
completely loses me. It's not that
Like, he needed to be on Arthur time. And yeah, I've spawned in a new world with full consciousness, knowing everything you know from your last life, the regrets you have. I'm cranking push-ups. I'm reading up on lore. I'm figuring out how to do magic. I'm doing everything because every other kid doesn't have that. In verse, you have an advantage, not because of like any innate talent or anything like that, but because one, your brain works differently from them. So if I'm going to this world that has magic, say this magic works on like mathematical formulas and stuff, only the high arc wizards and stuff know stuff like that in their verse. I've been taking calculus, I've been taking geometry, I know all that. I know that if I turn this fireball into a conical shape, it's going to do more damage, it's going to pierce through easier. Stuff like that. I know fire, wind, hush, you're going crazy. Don't let the wind overpower the fire or the fire is going to extinguish. Have the wind amplify the fire. Or if you need to put out fire, inverse of a tornado, suck out the oxygen. Little stuff like that. It's like you're locked in off rip. This is worried about gooning, bro. Nuke the whole generation.
story or world building isn't good. It's that the main character's perversion is written off as comedy or character growth. When in
It's
reality,
not funny,
it
twin.
makes it impossible to root for him. And what makes it worse is how normalized it becomes. The audience just gets desensitized to it. People defend it by saying,
Who? I watched it too. I'm caught up to like season 2. I'm not fully caught up. And I'm not fully caught up because it just got to a point where it became dull to me. It's a good plot. The world building's fire. Any show that's like swords and sorcery type magic normally is a good plot for me. I'm all in. The problem is they're at the school and a bunch of gooner stuff's happening. It's a huge plot point. The dude loses his ability. He essentially suffers from ED and he's trying to get the ability to get bricked again. And like that to me is like, that's not interesting, gang. I'm not, oh, let me see how he cures himself. No. Because when you get that back, you start going back to the Gooner based bait. I would watch Fire Force over that because Fire Force, the fan service only happens when one character is on screen. And the only other time fan service happens, it's like every 5-10 episodes. This, yo, bro, gooned out every episode. It's a whole character whose whole character arc is that they have to sleep with as many people as possible. I don't want to see that. But I watched T-Bait, which has little to no fan. I don't think it has any fan service, for real. Similar plot as T-Bait. I want to give it a chance. I gave it somewhat of a chance. I just couldn't finish it, bro. It's like dragging my feet through concrete. It's like any momentum the show has, it's like, turn this shit off, bro. So I'm constantly in limbo. So I have to consciously want to watch. But if you're watching something like One Piece, Naruto, etc., you're constantly want to watch it, and then you lose yourself in the world, and it's like, oh, hold on. Like I started rewatching Naruto. Oh shoot, Naruto didn't act when the demon came out from the Zabuza arc, and then after that he stabbed his hand because he's making a promise to himself. We see even later he does the same thing. He lets Kabuto stab him. He headbutts who has a head protector on while he has nothing on. Naruto becomes a character who's willing to go through pain to build resistance. Hence the guts that he's known for. His guts are legendary. A video about that is dropping. Just not with that title. You are gonna freak that out if I say Naruto's guts are legendary. I'm probably gonna say something about I don't know, bro.
And he grows out of it, but why was it there to begin with? And this isn't just a Mushoku Tensei problem. Anime has struggled to separate nuanced storytelling from cheap shock value moments that pander to the lowest common denominator. And here's the complicated part. Sometimes these stories are genuinely great. Like Jobless Reincarnate has some of the best world building we've
Fight
seen
scenes, world building,
in years.
yes,
and that's
bro.
the frustrating part about fan service. It's not always black and white. Are we supposed to throw away a great narrative because these uncomfortable moments? But it's like, can you still enjoy a show while criticizing the parts that are objectively wrong? And this is the balance anime fans have been trying to figure out for decades. Loving something, but calling out what's broken inside of it. Because we know 100% they don't need fan service to be.
Because genuinely, I think if you're unable to do that, you are like clinically, by definition, brainwashed. Same thing goes with politics. Same thing goes with any opinion. If you have an opinion on something and like you can't admit a fault to it, like even say power scaling, which is a huge issue in the anime community sometimes. If I say I think this character is going to win and the opponent goes, mind you, it's not even your opponent, you're having a conversation. But the person you are like arguing with, as you know, arguing is not it's like a neutral word. And they say something like, oh, well, they have this, which can counter that. If my response isn't like, oh, they do have that, that's interesting. My response is instead, no, he still solos, he washes. And I'm like being 100% serious, like there's no troll born in my body when I'm saying that, you're brainwashed. Same way how you mess with a celebrity, say you mess with Kanye start posting this crazy stuff, and you go, he made graduation. Say that he did something wrong, man. If not, you're brainwashed. Same joint happened with R. Kelly. Oh, you made good music, though. He did something wrong. If you're unable to admit the wrong of a position, side, or thing that you value, you don't really love that thing. You're brainwashed. To love something is to appreciate it and its flaws. And appreciating its flaws don't mean you co-sign them. It's just you appreciate what they do for the story, or the person, or the thing. If you're unable to do that, you're brainwashed. You can't call that admiration. You can only call that obsession.
Great. Look at shows like Attack on Titan or Mob Psycho. Not a bit of fan service, even with the
Peak
biggest
fiction,
platforms to
bro.
do it. Just great stories without any bait to get reactions. Now, although the creators of the show came in the cause of fan service, there are also fans who create it for themselves. Take Jujutsu Kaisen, for instance. There was this one scene where Nanami was super serious, and the animators really detailed his character design, and it was supposed to be another classic rage moment. But the internet lost its mind. The edits started rolling in, and the comment sections were out.
I didn't think that was fan service. I thought this was just doing like, people are always gonna edit stuff like that. I think an example of people creating their own fan service is One Piece, and y'all know what era I'm talking about. Can we get much higher? So high. Ho, ho, ho. And it was having whole meats on screen. Oda did not draw that, bruh. Just took that into their own liberty. That to me is the custom fan service. This is just people are always gonna make like thirst trap edits about anything, bro.
Outrageous for a fictitious character. So while anime gets a bad rep for creator added fan service, sometimes the fans themselves will create it even when it's not there. I mean, it's human nature to find something attractive or cool and then blow it up way out of proportion.
All right, bro.
Nanami wasn't written as fan service. He's a stressed out salaryman who clocks in, does his job,
GOAT.
and then clocks out. But somehow, the fandom decided he was the next anime heartthrob. And that's where this conversation gets more complicated. Because even when creators don't idolize a character, the fandom will do it for them. This isn't just a JJK thing. It happens across almost every popular anime. Characters who were never meant to be idolized suddenly have thousands of fan edits, fan art made about them. And sometimes they're literal kids. It's one thing when adults thirst over
get that off my screen,
like Gojo or Nobara or even Levi, but it's another thing when fandoms hyper idolize characters who are clearly written as minors.
There's no good pauses in this episode, gang. There's no good pauses in this video. And what is this you're doing with the cam? The one time hold the camera straight is when this is taken completely out of context. He's recording on the Obama phone. Good. I thought I wasn't gonna see that. This is recording on the Obama phone. He's on the floor, home on the ground. He getting the angle again. Cause the second my dog try to get up, he's getting that meat shot. That's going all over the school, bro. This is ridiculous.
And yeah, people will argue, oh, but it's just fiction or they're animated characters. When the majority of the fan conversation stop being about the story and start being about shit.
Why is she hitting the
cast gets weird. Because guess what? The studios see this stuff. They see what trends on social media.
You know what I'm saying? Rat too.
They see which scenes get the most edits, most fan art.
Best friends had a rivalry. Calls this nigga a loser, a nerd, a waste of space. Like the same way I do my friends on the game. You get in the game, your teammates playing dog shit, you call them out on it. Because y'all are brothers. That's how y'all operate. But for niggas to take brotherly shit and turn it into this, it's just like, I don't get it. You have free will, so do what you want to do. But I'm not co-signing, I'm not understanding, there is no sympathy. I can't relate whatsoever. Now, does that mean I'm going to go, start doing hate speech towards you? No. But it's like, this is why MHA has a bad rep. This is why if it tries to talk to me about some shit like that, you're not getting conversation, bro. You're getting, are you good in the head, bro? Or I'm going to hit you with what they be doing? The little, you know what I'm saying? The little blank smile. That's all you're getting. There's no conversation. This is disgusting, gang. They do the same thing with Kuroko.
Most engagement. And then they start leaning into it. And get the most edits, most fan art, the most engagement. And then they start leaning into it. And suddenly, a character that was written to be complex or relatable gets extra camera angles or weirdly detailed animation.
I'm doing it for the video, bro. But chill. I'm doing it for
the fandom influences the creators, and the creators give the fandom exactly what they want. Even if it waters down the story. Like, why are we seeing Bakugo X Deku fan art? Or why is Maki consistently getting angles of her rear? It all adds to why fan service has gotten completely out of hand. But if you
see, in Fire Force though, I see them as kids. Like Maki's butt being on the screen. That's not Maki, that's Tamaki. He just called her Maki. It's still annoying. Don't get it twisted. But I don't sexualize that in my head. It's just like, what's this on my screen? You feel me? Take Yoruichi and Bleach. Or even Rangiku and Bleach. People talk about them online, but there is no fan service of them in the show to make you think, oh, let me sexualize this character. It's just, this character exists. And then objectively going, oh, they're kind of bad. Because it's not forced on you to think they're bad. When someone is overly sexualizing themselves, it's the same thing. You walking down the street, you see a woman on the street, no respect to any sex workers. She try to shoot her shot at you. I'm good, bro. Because the value I take from you shouldn't be based off of the fact that you have to sexualize yourself in some way for me to have an appeal towards you, because the sexualization of something or lust in general fades. It's fleeting. If I put on the table, what would you rather have? A girl that wears promiscuous clothes all the time, you know what I'm saying, talks crazy all the time, don't really care about you, but you know what I'm saying? Or a girl that is relatively conservative in what she wears, has her own personality, has her own hobbies, and wants to get to know you, you're going to pick that girl over the other girl, bro. Because when something's thrown in your face, you don't want it. Take money. A lot of us are poor. We want money because we don't have it. No money. But you see rich people, they wipe their butt with their money. Why? There's an overabundance of it. They don't care. They don't want it no more, but they know they need it. So why would they get rid of it? You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's the same mindset is what fan service have. People that are not the GOATs, the big three, Dragon Ball, they feel like they need it. Dragon Ball had fan service. And it wasn't even fan service because when it happened, it was because Goku is from the wilderness. It was just showing how naive he was. And then they dropped it because they didn't need it. You know what I'm saying? Naruto has that one fan service scene with Hinata, I think. That's the only fan service scene I remember seeing in Naruto, or any scene where Tsunade is on screen, but that's not done intentionally. But they don't keep doing it because they don't need it. They have popularity, they have substance, they have story, bro. It's unnecessary, twin. Gooner, alright, but chill, bro. A Bombietta cosplayer, yo, Luke, lock in, gang.
Need any more proof that this problem isn't going away anytime soon? Just look at the new show Dandadan. This show dropped a brand new episode today, and it's the perfect.
I'm telling you, this creeps me out, bro. Every clip I see of this creeps me out. Not only because you can clearly tell this is a little girl, because instead of doing what they do in anime and make this look like grown people, this is clearly a little girl. This is clearly a grown man. It is directly stated that these are elders that passed or something, or just grandpa. I didn't even watch it, But I know this context off just looking at the clip, and it's disgusting, gang.
Example of how
I
fan
can't.
service can completely hijack a moment. We're watching this fight scene. It's fast, it's creative, the
Going
animation
crazy.
is crisp, and then suddenly the camera angle flips and you're no longer looking at the fight. The weird antics of every male character, including the aliens, are indescribably disturbing. And this is exactly what people were talking about when they said Dandanon felt wrong sometimes. It's not just the characters that are young, it's also the fan flow of what could have been or should have been a pivotal moment. You're pulled out of the story, mind that this isn't just about the characters fighting aliens or ghosts. It's also about keeping the audience's eyes glued to the screen for all the wrong reasons. The episode didn't even need it. Dandanon already has incredible energy, funny characters, and a unique premise. And this is where I think a lot of people miss the point. Fan service isn't bad because it exists. It's bad because it's lazy. It's the easiest, cheapest way to get a
exactly. That's where, and that's what I'm saying. The big three, Dragon Ball, if that had their own legs, they don't need fan service. Take Air Gear. Air Gear has a lot of fan service in it, which is something I don't like. And you see that in a lot of older anime. Now, obviously, some of them don't have it, like Yu Yu Hakusho. There's not a lot of fan service in Yu Yu Hakusho. Air Gear has fan service, which I don't like about it, but it's not every episode. And I don't even think it's every 2 episodes. And it's not a show like High School DxD where it's every scene. It's like, it's in there, and I look at that and I'm like, why did they feel a need to put this in here? Right? But unlike even Food Wars is a very plot-oriented anime. However, people are busting from trying food. You can clearly see that, like, in some way in their mind, and it goes back to these studios, gang, because they have the right to omit certain things from the story. It also goes back to the authors and their culture, things of that nature. But a great story that has its own legs doesn't need fan service. You know what I'm saying? X Arms has an insane nobody's watching X Arms.
The action out of the audience when the story itself should have been enough. And when you mix that with the underage characters or the scenes that clearly weren't meant for that tone, it becomes uncomfortable, no matter how good the rest of the show is. So yeah, fan service has gotten out of hand. When it's distracting from emotional moments,
3 Sword Style
involving characters that are way too young, and when it's clearly just there
gripped by the dome,
that's the problem. It cheapens the story, it breaks the immersion, and honestly, makes anime harder to recommend to people who aren't already fans.
Because Fairy Tail has some fan service in it too. I'm not gonna lie. But Fairy Tail doesn't have fan service every 3 seconds. And that's what I'm saying. That it's like a desensitization. Because so many anime that are butt cheeks have so much fan service, seeing fan service in a show you watch is like more acceptable. But I also would pose, to play devil's advocate, having like fan service every 30 episodes isn't ridiculous, because in real life, some of those moments actually happen. But when the fan service is like a reach, like, for example, when Natsu came back to the Grand Magic, when he came back after the time skip, this is not the Grand Magic games I'm thinking about. When he came back from the time skip, I think this is before the Grand Magic games, he uses a fire technique that burns everyone's clothes off. I think that's ridiculous. If it was just everyone's clothes, I would have been very upset. But he's melting the entire arena just from like the heat of his attack. That has never happened before in the show. So is the author making an attempt to show you without him destroying anything, which, mind you, his problem is he destroys everything. It's showing you not only has his powers gotten better, it's more refined. Instead of blowing up this arena, him existing here with his power is melting stone, is melting metal, and in effect, people's clothes come off. And instead of zooming in on his private parts and people's clothes come off, camera pans back to Natsu. It is simply showing, his fire is hot. In verse, if it existed that had the abilities to burn people's clothes come off sometimes, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't see that as too crazy. But you take something like Food Wars, again, every time you try a dish, your clothes bust off. I'd rather, what did it say? Bitch, I'd rather die. Because if someone put up, spawn into AOT, where every time you take a bite of food, your clothes come off. I'm spawning into AOT. I don't care how twisted the world is, bro. I'm taking that death before dishonor, bro. Because you cannot tell me I can't eat cereal in front of my parents or my family members without me becoming naked, gang. Stop it. I'm choosing AOT every time. So in situations where fan service don't make sense, bro, stop putting that in there. I don't want to see that. You get what I'm saying?
Being 100% real, not all fan service is bad. Sometimes it fits the tone
I
of
just
the
said the
show,
same
or
shit.
it's part of the
Oh my
joke.
God.
Like a character teasing someone or a lighthearted moment between two adults in a romance anime.
What am I
That's
looking
fine.
at, bro?
Shows like Prison School made it part of their entire identity.
What am
They
I
owned
looking
it,
at, bro?
And they built the world around it, and they didn't try to hide it behind any serious storytelling. The problem isn't fan service existing, it's when it's forced into shows that never needed it. When it's lazy, creepy, or when it targets characters that should have been left alone.
Like,
Anime is
ew,
good enough
bro.
without it. So maybe the key takeaway isn't to cancel every show that has a questionable scene. And most important,
Yeah, see, and this is a fan service genre from Naruto. You don't see nobody balls. You don't see nothing crazy, gang. People are naked, which is like, all right, bro, that's ridiculous. But if you've been watching Naruto, first episode, Jit Naruto has a jutsu called Sexy Jutsu. He becomes a woman. This is just the opposite jutsu used on Kaguya. It's like within the context of the story, it is A, ridiculous, but B, it's like, oh, the fate of the universe is on the line. Oh, yeah, that becomes slightly more plausible. Oh, this is based off of Jutsu established episode 1. Oh, that becomes slightly more plausible. We're not panning the camera to nobody's meat. Oh, that's slightly more plausible. You don't see in the background a character laying on the floor with an IKEA special edition Nokia phone tilted to get a camera angle. Oh, that seems a little, it stacks up to where it becomes a little bit more realistic. I'd learn Sexy Jutsu, not gonna lie. All right, bro.
support the anime that respects its audience enough to not rely on it. Because fan service isn't what makes anime great.
Like, we didn't need
Or is
that.
it?
Loud ass audio, twin. I was about to skip that bit too. Good timing, man. Shout out my dog Honor Clarity. Get my dog to 5K. You feel me? And yeah, without further ado, you know what time to see me next. Check the description down below. And yeah. Peace.